Jean-Francois Michaud is Senior Advisor on Social Responsibility for Cirque du Soleil. He joins us today to present Art in Focus, and he will be sharing with us the founding, development, and current work of Cirque in Southern Nevada and around the world. He will share how sustainability has always been a core principle to the company, and he will highlight some projects that use art as a social tool and demonstrate the importance of community partnerships.
Talk about visibility versus impact, and that came from the discussion I had with Lorraine. As a CSR professional, my job is to find projects that will have impacts and projects that will also have visibility. I found that it's quite hard to find projects that can have both. And this is our big top a year ago in Montreal that we've set up with Lucia, and that was real impact. Since last year, we've started to change the type of energy that we use for our operation with big tops. So traditionally, we go to a site where there's nothing, right? And we get there and we bring our generators and for our HVAC, lightnings, and everything. But now more and more we're getting connected to a local utility power. So in Montreal, this is hydropower. So we've saved 99% of our greenhouse gas emissions. And we go on. So most of the sites that we're visiting right now are getting connected. And last year alone, we've cut our greenhouse gas emissions by 2,000 tons, which represent more or less 500 cars. And the other thing is that the color of the big top usually it's a blue and yellow, right? And we've changed that. And one of the motivation we had is that with the white big top, it's easier to manage the temperature inside the big top. It's the same thing as having a white t-shirt versus a dark t-shirt on a sunny day. The white one will be more comfortable. It's the same thing that happens in the big top. We have that much to protect ourselves with the canvas of the big top, so the color of it makes a great impact. We're able to cut the HVAC use by 40% just by changing the color of the big top. So for me, this is real impact. We can bring that story to our customers, to employees, but when I talk about visibility, it's things that people can do by themselves. When people are able to download their tickets on their phone instead of printing a piece of paper, they feel that that finally we're doing something great about sustainability. So when we're able to combine those two, we're able to engage more people into their journey, all the stakeholders, but as well the company. So one of the program that is using art, as is the key founder of everything that we've done since the past 20 years, it's called Cirque du Monde. So basically, it's to use social arts with social intervention. So it's a pair, there's two person, there's a social circus teacher and a social worker will work together with the youth at risk to support them in the difficulties that they find in their life, to develop self-esteem, confidence, collaboration, to be able to take risk, to bring disciplines to their life. So this is something that profession, social circus, has been going on for many, many years. For us, it's about 22 years old now. We've started in '95. It comes from Brazil, and we've expanded that profession all over the world. So we have some partners in Montreal, in the United States, all over the United States, South Africa, Latin America, Europe, Asia. And what we were doing is that at the beginning, we were working with the kids. After that, we say, okay, we want to increase the impacts we can have on the kids. So we've developed like a large program to train some trainers, train the people that will help the kids. So we've developed that program, been going on for the last 10 years. And now we're training trainers that will train trainers. So it's like a big pyramid. So we try to get at the top to maximize the impact of it. So training is something very important. And we support as well organization that does that, because usually they're small organization and they need money for sure, but they as well need some coaches. They need to learn leadership. They need to learn how to make their business. They need to learn how to ask for money to other people. So we'll support their development as well. And as well, we advocate. Because that practice is underknown, but we see more and more professionals looking at it. Universities are doing studies about what's the impact of social circus on communities and on people. So we advocate for it. So within that big reflection of that program that's been successful, and so before I move on, I'm just going to say that the goal of this is not to develop artists. We don't do it so to make sure that we have artists on stage. The good thing, it happens once in a while. Right now, we have, I think, 5 artists that has been through a social circus program around the world. Some in Asia, some in North America, some in Latin America. So we can see the impact. One of my colleagues a few years ago was coming from a social circus program. So it has real impact on the people. So with that in mind, we say, okay, how can we have like Cirque du Monde is intervention with the youth at risk, but how can we prevent? How can we prevent kids from leaving schools, and how can we support them where they are? So we are in Montreal, in one of the poorest neighborhoods in Montreal. So in the schools, you have kids that come from all communities, low incomes and everything. So we decided, okay, we're going to go in schools. And we're going to bring a different perspective to the program. And our goal is to make sure that the kids love schools and support them, and as well to collaborate with the teachers. So with this, we want to develop creativity, imagination, explore different things, and develop the motivation. So we use 3 disciplines. We use circus, visual arts, and dance in the program in the different schools. So what we do, it's a very collaborative approach where, again, like the teachers, the artist teachers work with the teacher. So they work together. It's not something that we come in and the teacher will go from the classes. They will bring together, they will define together what should be put into the classes. And so it's an approach that will benefit the kids, but as well the teachers. They work like a teaching artist will work in a class with the teacher for 2 years. So there's longevity in what we do. And what's really important as well is the way we develop it is that everyone's part of it. There's no selection. When there's a project, we kick off with the teaching artist and the teacher for the kids. It's a 1-year project. So that's how it's done. And so it's been 10 years now in Montreal, and here in Vegas we just launched it in September. And my colleague Brooke, she's right there. She's at the forefront of it. She's in order to do this in Las Vegas, we've been partnership because we think that with partnership it can bring us further. Because every time that there's a new partner in place, it's another time to advocate about arts and how it can bring some changes. So we had some discussion with the CCSD and as well the Public Education Foundation to define how should it work, in which school should it go, and how should be integrated into the academics program of the schools. So right now we are in 2 schools, the Gilbert, which is a communication and creative arts school, and the McCall. And what's really interesting is that those 2 schools are very different. One has already heart into their mission, and the other one is a school that is in a poorer neighborhood. So we're going to be able to see the involvement of the programs in those 2 schools, how kids are reacting, and as well our teacher and all the directors of the schools see the programs. So for us, it's very interesting to be able to touch the community here in Vegas in a different way. For next year, there's going to be at least one other school that's going to be part of the program for sure. And just as I've mentioned, it's just another way to engage yourself into the community. You know, guys, that we've been here for many years, and we've done like the 5K runs for 16 years now at the Spring Preserve, for example, and there's the event with Wandra. But using heart with this is something very good. That really represents who we are as a company and as a group as well as employees. This is something that's very important for us. So before I jump to questions, just that's who we are. We like to dream. We like to create partnerships in order to build a better world. And I come back to what Henry said a bit earlier. Is like he said, like, ask your kids what they want, what they aim for life, and that's going to give you a little bit of what you need to do us in our daily life. And that's a bit of Art Nomad, what he's doing with our kids. Ask them in which world they want to live in, and we're going to try together to build it. So that's it. If you have any question, I'll be pleased to answer them.